Hey guys, Jonah here, back with a beer review, and it's been a crazy day today, like full on crazy. So I thought I'd have a beer when I got home, and I found this one in the fridge, and it's a bit epic. It's Northern Monk Beyond, but classic IPA, 6.5%. But look how big the frigging can is. It's a pint can. It's like one of the biggest cans we get in the UK. 568 milliliters. This is a proper a proper can of doom. It's been in the fridge overnight. Part of the Faith in Futures kind of connection, so sort of like a charity beer, etc., etc. Explore a new world with a journey to the frontier. Citrus and piney. Um, so it's, yeah, I'm guessing it's an old school IPA. So maybe a West Coast. This has got a gold top. So that says pretty good stuff, but a silver bottom, unfortunately. And yes, it does have a dent in the can. I don't actually know where that came from. So I'm probably not going to finish the whole thing on camera because I don't think it'll fit in the glass. But we're going to give a good review of this beer. Some people, I've looked at some of the reviews already. Some people really like it. Some people don't. Some people are saying, oh, it's just a supermarket beer. And I did pick this up in the supermarket, but it's a 6.5% pint. Like, what's not to like? Yeah, look at that. Jesus. So we're going to go for this. Let us see what we get. So we're going to go about there. Is it going to? Yeah, that's about right. I'm not going to fit the whole thing in the bad boy. So yeah, I'm going to have to pull this back because that's Jesus. That's epic. There we go. Got a good thumbnail for this video. Now, because it's been in the fridge, it is a little bit of chilled. There is a little bit of haze to it. I thought this was going to be a lot. I mean, you can see sort of shapes through it, but you can't tell it's me behind that pint. Got some good level of carbonation. Because of that, we have got some lovely fluffy white head. Not super carbonated or anything, but nice tight bubbles, which is always good. And when you look up on Untapped anyway, I haven't been on the Northern Monk website. It says fresh, well, it basically says what's on the can. Citrus piney, which kind of says to me citra, but who knows? It has got that fresh, yeah, hedgerowy, piney type thing, like walking through a forest, a pine forest after the rain. A pinetum, is it, or something like that? You know what I mean. Yeah, nothing amazingly. It's not really like did it say? I don't think it says the IBUs. It definitely doesn't because I've got Untapped up on the screen in front of me. It doesn't say what the IBUs are, but it doesn't have as much of a punch, perhaps as a really heavily dry hopped beer would have. Who knows? And I suspect this particular beer, because you can get this on draft as well, but it's only 5.5 on draft, 6.5 in the can down at the supermarket. And I think it was it was a more expensive beer because it was larger volume. I think it was 380, 390, something like that. Bought from Asda in the supermarket. But I got it on a deal. So it kind of took a quarter-ish of that price off. So say it's £4, £3 for a pint. Not bad. Not the best I've had ever, but £3 for a pint's not bad these days. Oh, especially when it's 6.5%. Yeah, this is 100% Citra hops in there. Are there any other hops in there? Not too sure, but I'm getting that kind of grassiness. I'm getting a little bit of kind of lemony, limey stuff. It's got a reasonable level of bitterness. This is not like a West Coast IPA, but it's kind of on a par, I guess, with a kind of, yeah, an old school sort of British IPA, perhaps, maybe even a golden ale, that kind of thing. So it's quite heavily hopped in the bitterness. 40 IBUs, maybe 50, something like that. Maybe, yeah, maybe more around 40. It's not really heavily hopped, but there's enough hops in there to keep things interesting. You can taste the alcohol in there, so it's not too hidden. I read somewhere that someone was complaining because it tasted too sweet. I don't get that at all. Okay, it's not bone dry. It has got a bit of residual sweetness in there. When you look at the colour, it's not superb lager or pale ale type yellow. So this has probably got some extra kind of, it's not full on extra pale malt. There's something in there. Traditionally, it would have been a touch of crystal. I think last time or one of the other videos I said citra malt, and I'm like, no, that's not true. Crystal malt is what I was saying. And that does give a little bit of residual sweetness. This one, not so much. But because it's quite well hopped, yeah, I'm not picking so much up of the malt bill, if you like. Like I say, not obscenely hopped. It's not like a hop head beer or whatever, but I think it's hoppy enough for what it is. Oh, it's weird. Some people, some days, expect every beer to be an obscene hop bomb, and because of that, people get a little bit disappointed sometimes. I've just noticed that the head's not really hanging around too much, a little bit, and especially around the back where I've been drinking from. You get the little side notes, but yeah, I wouldn't say this is not a beer in the kind of hazy style. Oh, I just seen over on this side. Yeah, it looks like a kind of either a kind of sea monster and the head's coming up this way, or perhaps a kind of some sort of flying dove or something dipping one of its wings currently into my beer. Ooh, wow, pardon me. So the carbonation has saturated quite fully into the liquid. It's not super carbonated, but I suspect, like I say, and I've said it before, at cooler temperatures, and this has been in the fridge, the carbon dioxide is in the actual liquid itself. When it warms up, i.e. when it hits your stomach, it turns back into the gaseous form and then it comes out. So I apologise, but that goes with drinking beer. I think most of you guys watching this video will know what I mean. When you're drinking beers, you do both. It happens. Perhaps there's a little bit of, I said kind of lemon and lime flavours at the beginning, and it's still kind of there, but perhaps a little bit more tropical, maybe borderline grapefruit, um, maybe a tiny touch of stone fruit in there. But these are also flavours that are coming from Citra hop. Um, Weirdly enough, I always think I describe it as a sort of green as a hedgerow. But as my brain is thinking a bit more, because somebody said to me the other day, "Oh, don't you get loads of tropical fruits from Citra?" And I was like, Not really." But now I'm thinking about it, there are a little bit more fruity notes, and sometimes a little bit of berry as well. Oh, you know, but predominantly, I will always remember Citra from back in the day, back in the 1990s when it was quite new. Um, Probably the mid 90s, I would say, when I first tried it in beers. And yeah, I always had that kind of grassy, sort of mown grass type thing, which I don't seem to get these days from Citra. Um, but don't forget, dear viewer, the Citra that was available back then is not the same Citra that people get these days. It's gone through like 20, 30 years worth of development and grown in various different places around the world. So, yeah, biggest hop in the, well, most grown hop in the world still, which is crazy when you think about it. Right, for some unknown reason, it must have been because I swirled the glass around. I'm now actually starting to get some head retention, which is kind of interesting. I'm really glad I tried this beer. And if you're in the supermarket, do search it out. But I would say, think of it as a kind of, I would call this a kind of simple Citra beer, if that's what it is. I'm pretty sure it is Citra hop. Um, but it's nothing extra special. It's a really simple beer. It's in a big can, 6.5% ABV. It's pretty damn good. Okay, it's a tiny bit expensive for what it is, um, but for a 6.5% supermarket beer, I don't think anyone's going to complain that much. And if you bought four of these and tried to have them of an evening, I think you would get yourself into trouble. Um, Maybe you could do it over an afternoon into an evening, say a barbecue beer or that kind of thing. But it's yeah, I don't know if it's sessionable. It's a bit epic. Right, I'm going to fill up my glass with some more because there's still some left in the can. I mean, Jesus Christ, look at that can. It's as big as my head is. That's nuts. There we go. In fact, that could be the screenshot. Absolutely crazy. Um, yeah, it's just making me laugh every time I see this can. It's like, Jesus, that's one big can. Guys, this has been Uncle Jonah. Drinking for your entertainment, and hopefully I have entertained you, although I'm talking a bit of old toot and all that kind of stuff. Please come back. I'll be doing another beer review, and that'll be coming up at some point real damn soon.